Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is a sponsored video. It's sponsored by Chiquita for Rachel, who I just did a sponsored video for the other day. That one was the narcissists never ask themselves, "Am I the problem?" I usually don't. I usually like to space people getting sponsored videos apart, to try to keep it fair. But I kind of saw something in here and I wanted to get right to it. So I'm going to jump it up a little bit. So here's Rachel's story. Hello again, Ollie. I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for your video response and the words of reassurance. And I would especially like to thank Cynthia. Cynthia sponsored Rachel's first video. The video has put my mind at ease somewhat. If you feel that it is appropriate to make another video, then please feel free. I would just like your honest thoughts on the extra details. Thank you in advance. I apologize for the lack of details in my previous email. I was unsure how much or what to share. This is a follow-up email with some memories and examples. This may be a little long and a little all over the place. From your videos, I have noticed that I have both traits of narc and their victims, which you explained is natural. A lot of things that are said by others, yourself, ring true to me. Even from your response video, I'm introverted. Every time I have gone to minimal and no contact with my parents, I have ended up isolating myself pretty much completely. I am rather shy, but as that was looked down upon in my family, I try to be a little extroverted. I think this is due to my parents commenting on the fact that one of my childhood friends was extremely shy at one of my birthday parties when I was 3 or 4 maybe, stating that she never came out from behind her mom's legs, and that was terrible. That's another thing my mother did, was criticize other people's children. And what that does to you as a child is telling you, don't act like that person. Well, the problem is if you're kind of an introvert as a child, which most of us are from being around these people, that causes a whole hell of a lot of internal stress in a child. This need to please, not get beaten, but you don't want to do these things. This isn't who you are. It's emotional turmoil for a child. You're also correct in saying they got off scot-free. My parents wanted me to simply get over it so we can play happy families, even though they were still employing some of the tactics they used on me as a child. I have identified what my family are, even some friends. I am questioning whether my partner is a narc or whether it's just me. I will send separate emails with more in-depth details on that and my childhood in the future with donations when my PayPal talks to my bank again. As previously mentioned, I put some of the pieces together in my head while watching your videos and listening to other survivors' accounts. I finally have put a name to it. I still feel that I am a problem due to my reactions. I think it'll be easier to list some of my bad behaviors and give examples of others. I'm like a dog with a bone sometimes that won't let things drop, and I end up having circular arguments. Whether this is caused by me or by the other party, I'm not sure. I've only had arguments with my parents and current partner. Trying to get an answer or have some kind of closure is damn impossible at times. So I just keep going. I will end up raising my voice and shouting. The main problem that causes this is that I will shut down and bottle everything up. So when one thing comes up, so does everything else. That stems from not resolving childhood issues with my parents when I was a child. An example, when my father would leave or enter the living room, due to my seating location next to the door, he would tap, grab, or mess with my head or feet, depending on which way I sat. I asked him many, many times to stop as I didn't like it, but he continued to do it and got a rise out of me. He even told me once I shouldn't react. I think He's known all along what he was doing. Now I can't stand my head being touched at all. Freaks me out. Also note my mother can't stand to have her feet touched either. I will argue that I am right. I know I'm right. I get told that I jump to the worst possible conclusions all the time. I can be rather argumentative and keep them going for a while. I also have arguments over nothing, the whole bottling up everything coming to bite my ass again. I have histrionic tendencies, as well as being passive aggressive. I do not go out of my way to hurt people or be an asshole just for the fun of it. Sometimes I can be spiteful and cruel and lash out when I argue. I struggle to say no. I am a yes man, introspective of how I feel at the time or how I know I feel in the future. I avoid saying no as I think that will be worse than the consequences of saying yes. As when I say no, I end up feeling guilty, and then more often than not will backtrack and say yes to appease whomever. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. I also have a problem with apologizing. I over-apologize and apologize for things that are unnecessary. This stems from being told I didn't apologize enough as a child, and it was being turned on me into I apologized too much, and it meant nothing to me. You know, what you're describing here, okay, is just basically you're describing pre-no contact conditions. This is what we all deal with trying in our earlier days, trying to fight with the narcissist. This is where what I say, the only way to win is not to play the game. You're not describing anything here that doesn't happen to every one of us when we've tried to face down the narcissist. This is what happens. This is basic gaslighting tactics. You saying no only to say yes is part of your game. It appeases them because it lets them say, yeah, she didn't want to do it and we're making her do it. Even though it's part of this long, drawn-out game to say yes, you're only saying no so you can say yes later. So in their mind, it's like they're getting supply by making you do something you didn't want to do. And that's only proven by your propensity to over-apologize later on. Let me tell you something. Nobody has ever fucking made me apologize for something that I meant. Ever. If you want to apologize, you apologize. If you don't, you don't. Apology is just another weapon of the narcissist, because once you do it, they can use it against you forever. An example from a video, forgive me, I can't recall the title, would be me hiding behind doors, i.e. shutting, locking, and barring people out. For me, this was a way to escape. It happened most recently with my partner. We would argue. When I needed 5 minutes to calm down, I would have to hide away, as I would have already asked him to leave several times or leave me alone. I believe I do this as I'm expecting to be lashed out when I speak out, and when that doesn't occur, I carry on. While this is happening, my anxiety starts to spike and I panic to the point of having panic attacks, expecting to have to defend myself or run away. When I had to be calmed down, I would come out and apologize and feel like shit warmed up, but at least I wouldn't be a raving bitch. On a slightly separate note, I am no longer able to do this in the place where I live, as I no longer have fully functional doors. They were smashed, broken, or removed by my partner during our arguments. His explanation for this is that he snaps after several days of arguing. I suppose that it is fair enough, but I don't see why he can't take it outside or avoid breaking my things. No, he's driving you insane, Rachel. If you need to be locked away to calm down, Why the fuck would he break all the doors to keep you from being locked away? Because he's trying to keep you in this state. That's why. That doesn't make any sense. Note that the property is in my name and the doors only started being broken after mugs, bins, boxes, drinking bottles, and phones were being thrown, were by throwing them out, broken by throwing them at walls. Yeah, you need to get away. Now for a memory. At about 14, I walked out. I couldn't handle it anymore. I needed space to breathe and cool off after yet another argument. This was the first time I'd walked out. While walking away, my mother tried to stop me, and she caught up to me after 3 streets, and I asked her to choose between him, father, and me. I know it was cruel to ask her, but she was my mother, and I thought she would want to protect her only child, who she fought so hard to bring into this world. But no, she said, don't make me do that. This was the first and last time I ever asked, as I knew that it wasn't going to happen, nor was she going to stand up to him for me. You'd think after 14 years or so, I would have learned that by then. Why I didn't learn it after 35 years. I'm in the situation I am because my mother chose my father over me repeatedly. She had her last chance at 36, and she chose to let my father team up with my ex-wife and do what has happened. So don't be surprised. That's who your mother really is. Another memory, this time from high school. From roughly around the same time, I believe, I experienced rage. The long and the short of it is me and my friends were having lunch in a classroom. My friend's girlfriend tripped over, fell, and hurt herself, bashed her knee and elbow. She started to cry and he started to laugh instead of going to help her up. I got up to help her as I could tell he wasn't going to. While doing so, I could feel my rage, anger building with his laughter, and she started to cry more. I helped her up, made sure she was dusted off and okay, and rounded into him in a fury. Something in me snapped. I started to walk towards him, and he started backing away, still giggling. I said, "Why are you laughing? It's not funny. This isn't funny. This is not the way you treat someone you supposedly love. You do not stand there while they are hurting and crying." It was not my place to get involved, but I couldn't stand there and see her being laughed at while she was hurt. I suppose in hindsight I should have just helped her up and told him to stop laughing. No, you were fighting for yourself through her. You saw your own abusers in him. Might have been easier to lash out at him than your own family. I would say the worst thing to do that I do is the blaming. I blame my partner for a lot of things. Some of the things are unfounded and wrong for me to do so. In similar vein, I am a little paranoid and accuse him of cheating. I have no proof of it this time, but once my trust has been broken by someone, I find it hard to trust again so completely. Once bitten, twice shy. If you can cheated once, he's cheating again. If you think it's happening, look, I'll wait till the end here. One final thing I will say, that I'm not usually an asshole and normally don't speak out. I'm actually rather quiet and reserved and struggle to get my voice heard, especially in social situations. All these things make me hate myself and drive me into some of the worst depressions I've experienced. I feel broken and confused. I hate that I think of my parents, partner, and friends in this way. It is odd that I would much sooner be the problem so that I can fix everything. You can't. To see the best in everyone else and take all the responsibility, even for things that are completely out of my control. Simply to be the better person and to avoid arguments. I hope this has cleared things up a bit. I have done some self-work in the past to stop other bad habits that I picked up, so I know I can change. From all this, in your honest opinion, am I a narc BPD, or do I have unresolved trauma? Give it to me straight. Where do I go from there? Either which way. Any thoughts or advice on my behavior or anything else in this email would be most welcome and greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for your time and effort for reading this. And thank you again for the first video. All the best, kindness, warmest regards, Rachel. You're where most of us are right before we go completely no contact. You've been abused and abandoned by your mother. Your mother chose your abusive father over you at 14. So you have severe abandonment issues on top of the rage and anger issues from your abuse. You have been living a role as you're trying to be the one to break it and fix it, to be the problem so you can fix the problem. Whereas the problem is them. The problem is unfixable. The problem is you're playing a game. You can't win. The only way you're playing a game, the only way to win is not to play it. And when I say not to play it, that means you go no contact and you don't look back. You need time to figure out. You have zero identity of your own, Rachel. Zero identity. That's why your partner, who you think is cheating on you and obviously cheated on you in the past, is removing doors and breaking things very specifically. He's dangerous. He's a predator. He preyed on you. You wouldn't be with this guy if you had been raised by normal parents. He needs to go, and you need to go no contact and stay no contact and discover who you are, what you want, and understand your anger issues are not narcissism. They're the result of being abused by narcissism. Narcissists don't ask these questions. They don't give a fuck about it. Your problem is you're still in the chaos. Until you can completely remove yourself like you do during those arguments where you were able to lock yourself away, you're not going to see anything clearly. You haven't described anything differently than any of us have dealt with when we were in the heat of battle. You're just about to go no contact. That's where you are. So, thank you again, Rachel, for your story. Thank you to Chiquita for sponsoring the video. I really appreciate it. I hope this helps. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video just like this for someone who can't afford it and needs help, or you just want to sponsor the channel in general, help keep the lights on, see it grow, pay the rent, sponsor Charlene and her novel. It's all great. You know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. And if you're still unclear, wait for the instructional video link to pop up on the screen at the end of this video to walk you through all of that. Remember, this channel is sponsored 100% by you. Please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.